Okay, the recording's going. This is the Bring Along a Friend bonus call. And what I'm really excited about this call specifically for this group is to not only, obviously, we want to kind of create a habit for all of us. This is one thing that Jacinta, the new person who's in charge of kind of launching New Stylist Strong, this is one of her major goals is for everyone who signs up. She couldn't believe that we offer an $800 shopping spree for someone bringing along a friend and promoting to associate. She just thought that was kind of like amazing. And she said, I don't understand why every single person doesn't get this. Like why it's so simple. So I think part of this group is going to be truly by the end of this 6 months, we are all going to think like that. We are all going to think this is just something that every stylist does. Charlotte just talked about on our sponsoring call about having a new stylist checklist and some norms that we can create with our new stylist so that, you know, part of the checklist is adding 10 people to our How to Become a Stylist group or reaching out to 10 people with this message. You know, and Liz, we just talked about earlier, super simple words to say, but that message might just be, oh my gosh, I'm having a blast. I think you would actually love this too. It'd be so fun to do together. What do you think? Just that simple message, but almost make that like a checklist for new stylists, just to create that habit and help them have that conversation right off the bat, giving them like super, super simple words to say. So I think that's the end game goal for all of us is obviously the most important thing with a new stylist is you are their buddy for the first 60 days. It is 60 days where you are checking in weekly, you are shooting them little notes here and there, you're giving them kudos, you're reinforcing the behavior that you know is going to help make them successful. I think a new stylist feeling good and feeling like she's doing a good job is so important. So whatever little behaviors and actions you can kudo are going to increase the chance that they keep doing those actions. So just think about that in the beginning, because they're going to say 1,000 things that you're going to be like, oh gosh, no. And so it's so important to realize we all had those same questions in the beginning and we all had those same things we said wrong or did wrong. So I think reinforcing the positive things is just huge. So that's something we can really reinforce is right from day one, even as soon as they're launched, so they have that verbiage of, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. You should totally do it with me. And letting them know that like, they don't have to know anything. Like you're gonna coach the two of them together, but that it's a quick way to get a gigantic shopping spree. So it would take 8 trunk shows to get that same amount of jewelry. So I think really having that being on the forefront of your conversations with them every time you talk to them, not just in the new stylist training, but literally every time you have a conversation with them, sitting down and being like, okay, so let's talk about your launch. Tell me everybody who was there, what did they love? And kind of helping them pick through and figure out who to follow up with. If they didn't, obviously we want them to talk about it at their show. And kind of getting them in the habit of thinking of sponsoring as the exact same as selling and booking in this business, that it's just what we do. It's just what stylists do. It's funny, I talked to a friend at Rodan & Fields and she was like, that's weird that we lead with the opportunity. She's like, that's all we do. She's like, every conversation opens with the opportunity and then defers down to a sale. And so I think we just have to kind of create a new norm with Sell and Dot, that it's not, oh, you can just sell, but this is what it looks like to be a stylist, and kind of make that the norm. And showing them how easy it's, like, for example, Liz, you've got 2 new stylists. So, you know, you want to make associate stylists seem extremely doable. You want to make it seem like this is not a big deal. And it really is. Like, all they have to do is do a show this month and then find a buddy to do a show this month. And they're there. Like, so just, I use that language a lot. Like, you do a show, a friend does a show. It's super easy. But you're going to get an $8 shopping spree. So it's awesome. So I think just making it feel like it's not a big deal. Like, are you interested in promoting up our leadership track? Like, that sounds so scary. But if you just talk about bringing along a bud and getting this huge shopping spree, then it seems doable. But then you make a gigantic deal about it when they do it. So y'all ask questions because y'all heard me probably say that before. So what are some things that we can do with this group of new girls? So let's say we've got, I don't even know what the final number is right now. How can we help them all bring along at least one person over the next 8 days? That's my first question. And then how can we also and really help them have a good, strong start as well? I'm going to close my door. Got boys about to come pouring in the house. So you guys unmute. I want to hear from you.
I'm not too sure. I don't have the results as yet, but one of the things that I'm chatting with my newest sign up and the two that are on track to signing up this week, I am for the sponsorship. I'm just basically saying, like, who would you like to go to Mexico with?
Oh, that's a good angle.
I just think it's for the first time, it is so achievable. And that's a focus for me to help as many of them that want it, because obviously they have to put in the effort. But as many of you want it, I'm going to help you get there, you know? So for the new ones, it's like, who would you like to go to Mexico with? And that,
oh my God, that's brilliant, Avril. That's so good.
well, we'll see. Everybody try it. And then it makes the reach out so much more fun, because then you instantly, I'm hoping they instantly think of like 2, 3, 4. And of course, we're going to walk them through it. Like, who would you? And then let's go through the names, right? But then it makes the warm up and the conversation so much more easy and authentic, because now you could just say, oh my gosh, I just started this thing. I don't know what's going to happen. It's so far so good, but I could earn a trip this year to Mexico, and I really want you to come with me. Like, are you willing to like just give it a try? Just the two of us, you know, let's just go for it and we'll see what happens. Like, just saying it to you, it gets me excited. And for me, it was that was the whole idea. If they're excited, as we know, it transfers over. So far, that's what I keep saying to them.
Okay, by the way, I would have joined your team if you had just said that to me. Your smile was so cute when you were saying that. I mean, you got a fantastic smile, by the way. Would you not? I've joined your team. Like, your enthusiasm was like, okay, let's do it. Why not? You know, like, that was really good. That was great. Yeah, it's simple. You didn't say, let me show you how you can back into earning blah, 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 blah. You said, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, let's get to Mexico together. We can do it together. I have a chance to earn a trip. Let's do it.
So like, while I was on the phone there, like while you were talking, I just sent a video to the one I had the call with this morning. I just sent the glam video. And I just simply put in there, hey, here are some of the perks to look forward to, and just have fun thinking of who would you like to go with, and just share it with them while we're, you know. So it just was just that quick little something. So they have the visual also, using what we have, using Mimi.
So the Mexico video on me, that is brilliant. I need to talk about that with my personal generation. Now that you've said that, I absolutely need to go on and share that video and say, here is like the simplest words to say you could ever imagine for bringing along a buddy this month.
Yeah. Because you have great words to say. I always think, you know, I say, I'm really trying to edit. And the whole idea of getting them to use Mimi too. So I'm just basically using that for all of them. New, whatever, as far as I'm concerned, they're all new, because they all have that challenge of how to say it. You know, they think it's a big deal. So for all of them, I'm sharing it and like, hey, here's something great you could share for someone that you think that might be open to it. And I'm having them, the ones that I already have, because we want to keep who we have, ideally, as we bring on new. I'm having them in the one-on-ones say to me, what are you saying? Because I find it's such an open. I just had a call this morning, and I just discovered this girl who's a power seller, and she wants to build her team. Her warm-ups, she admitted to me, which is a big thing, I'm not talking about it, which is really bad. You know, it's really bad. I'm not getting anybody, you know, I'm not talking about it enough. I said, well, no, it's not really bad. You're not talking about it enough, right? So great news.
That's great news,
yeah. Right?
I always love that kind of when people actually can look at their business objectively like that and see what they're doing versus what they're not doing. I think that's actually a great sign of a future leader.
Yeah. So that, and asking her, okay, so what are you saying for booking and for sponsoring? So when she said it to me, I realized that her warm-up follow-up, she was going to the call for the warm-up, and she was being very direct. So it was just a little tweak, like, okay, this week, let's try this, where you do a true warm-up, where it's just putting it on a radar in a very soft way, keeping open-ended and such. and then do the call for your follow-up, your 48 hours, 24 hours, do the call then. So now you're not jarring her. So I said, okay, use me. You're chatting with me, you're booking with me. And it was like, hey, it's Valentine's Day, so are we gonna book a date? Because I really wanna get you that free shopping. I'm like, okay, well, that's great. But how about we try this? For example, I was just flipping through and I saw this look and oh my gosh, I think it might look like you. Like, am I crazy? Did I get your style right? I'm helping a bunch of my girlfriends get new looks, I thought you might be open to it. You could shop or you could actually do this with me. It's so fun. I get to shop for free all the time. Want to chat about it? Like that sort of thing, but not expecting the response to some degree. It's just a soft touch. So now when you follow up, you have a little bit more confidence because you did that already. Because I personally don't like the phone follow-up reach out thing. So I have to come up with something that makes me feel confident when I pick up that call. So the fact that I know I kind of put it out there, whether or not she saw it, it's more like a mental thing. Yeah. It just makes it easier to pick up the phone. And that's what I want to help them do. Lessen the jitters, which is going to happen, but lessen the jitters as much as possible. So,
yeah, I love that. I think that's great advice. Okay. So should we try to do something where we pair up all of our new stylists or like, I'm just trying to think, maybe one of these, like we just talked about on the last call, this split screen where you have a conversation back and forth. Maybe we could even do like a reenactment for new stylists for kind of like what they could say or how they could bring along a friend. Or even if we had like a private video that we did that we could send out to just the girls from the Mavens who just signed up. Something to make them feel kind of special and like they're part of this very special group. Maybe I'll film a little video and say, I don't know if you know this, but you're part of a very special, like almost kind of like a pledge class. And we are all here and we want 100% of you to get this $800 shopping spree, and here's how you do
it. You said that, and the thing that popped into my head, because what I'm finding is that at the end of the day, it may not be about motivation, because that in itself, it's for a moment. What I'm discovering is that we need the tactical tips. And I think with new stylists, at least certainly on my team, and this is why we always reach out to each other for words to say, because you have to build that confidence. So I think having something where they could see what a reach out actually looks like a role play where, somebody's doing it in real time, that might actually help.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's what they're needing. So far in my experience, I feel like that's what they're needing the most. All of the other stuff, it's already there. They have it, but it's that actual, what does
So that could be a fun split screen then, and we could do that just on the team page for everybody, but a split screen showing, okay, next on your checklist is to invite 10 people to how to become a stylist page, or reach out to 10 people with like a genuine message for why you're so excited to do this and that we should totally do it together. Like something like that. But then also, what was I thinking when I had something else in my head based on something you just said. Oh, but then I also do think it would be fun to send out a little video about the $800 shopping spree to our group specifically and give them a quick word to say, which is something super simple like, I'm having so much fun. I'm working towards a trip to Mexico. Let's go together. Like, I want you by my side on a lawn chair drinking a margarita. Something simple like that. And then give them a challenge, like to reach out to 10 people in the next 2 days. And see who does.
That was a great tip. I think on the other call, I actually wrote it down. I mean, I think we're all doing it, but it's just that if we have that intention, just given those really short tasks, you just sign up, do this. Okay, do that, do
like
this.
The checklist. It's brilliant. Yeah, so smart. Okay, I love that. Okay, anything else we've got this goes till we have 9 minutes left. What else can you guys think of? Does anyone have any questions about this bonus? Anyone have any nervousness about throwing it out there, making it seem normal? Liz, I know you're sponsoring for the first time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that about being nervous, because I'm always hesitant to express my nervousness because I'm a go-getter. I have goals. I want to do it. So yes, I have 2 new girls. One is, super into it. She's pretty self-sufficient. She's been a customer forever and she knows the deal. My other one is super brand new. Like literally the very first thing she ever bought from Stella and Dot was her starter kit. And now she's like sickened in the bed and can't do anything. And so I'm really having to like do baby steps with her. So I'm nervous to throw all this information at her because she is so new. And so like, I'm still trying to work with her on getting her launch off because she's sick. She actually can't do it. So I'm going to do an online one for her. And thankfully got her an extension on her quick start, thanks to the Delights. So how do I feed her all of this amazing information about how great it is to be a stylist, but also not overwhelm her when she's already going, through such a huge learning curve to begin with?
Well, I think that exactly what you said. First of all, the fact that you got an extension on her quick start is amazing. And I think that you kind of do them together. So for example, is she going to get on the online show with you?
I'm hoping. Right now it's only me and her. I need her to invite people and she hasn't done that yet. And I've asked her twice.
Okay. Is she saying, yes, I'm on board for doing an online right now, or does she want to wait till she feels better? Is it like a long-term sickness or just like the flu?
No. So she has a really bad case of shingles that has impaired her vision. And yeah, so she kind of can't see anything. The doctor's given her probably another 2 to 3 weeks. So like she can't even leave her house. She can't drive.
I'm not sure I would push her to launch without her being on there. I would just let her take a pause. As long as all the numbers are there, I'd probably move my energy somewhere else right now. Because I think if you are like strong arming her to do something right now while she's in a ton of pain and can't see.
Well, she's actually on board for me to do an online show for her. And so we had agreed on, and she's excited to start it this Thursday. For some reason, she's just hesitant to invite people. So I'm kind of hung up on that. But she actually does have somebody who was interested in joining her, which blew my mind when she told me that. Yeah, that was my expression when she told me. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, so
she's been talking.
So it sounds like she's got that on her radar already. I would do a call with that girl for her.
Okay.
Yeah, I always offer that. If I have a new stylist who wants to sponsor, like I have a hobbyist who's been on my team for 5 years, and she goes, I think I've got 2 people who want to sign up, but I don't have a clue what to say to them. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's pop on a call together. So I do that all the time.
Okay, perfect.
That's a great way. And then that way she can just be on and listening, and you can answer all the questions, and you can close the deal very easily and be like, oh my gosh, you know what? Give it a shot. Like you 2 could be in Mexico together in a couple months.
Okay, I love that. Okay.
So it sounds like she's already kind of having that conversation. And then I would shoot her a message and be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk with her. We're going to get you that $8 shopping spree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I would, like you just mentioned that she's very hesitant for some reason. So I would literally just ask her. I think Sam said that in some other call, but what's holding you back? Like literally just ask her, because sometimes we kind of put out the fire if we don't know where it is, right? Right now we're just dealing with smoke screens. So find out what is the hesitation to adding the people to her VIP group. I've had shingles. It's not fun. If you're willing to do it for her, that's like pretty good. All she has to do is add people and literally sit there remotely, right? So if she's not doing that, there is a reason. And you kind of get her to take the action if you cannot figure out what it is. So just ask, just simply like, what's the hesitation? Talk to me.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that feedback.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And I think, like you said, so many people feel fear in this, and they think it's unique to them, and they think it's an indication that they're not doing the right thing. Like, it's so funny the way emotions work. And so people feel fear, and they're like, oh, maybe this is a sign that I'm not supposed to do this. So they need to know that the fear is normal. They need to know that we all get butterflies. They get to know that, like, we all kind of hold our breath when we reach out to somebody. And like, that's normal, and that's just how you grow. Anytime you're always a beginner in the beginning, and every time you do something that's a little outside your comfort zone, you grow and you get stronger. So letting them know that those feelings are normal. So if she comes back to you and is like, well, I'm just nervous that people are going to think blah, 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 or I'm nervous that blah, 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 then you can kind of soothe her fears. So that was great advice, April. Okay.
I'm learning from Kelly.
No, you know what? Okay. First of all, I had an aha moment when I was watching this call. I'm like, this is why I created Mavens. This is why, because all day long, I was having coaching calls with all of these amazing women And I'm like, gosh, I wish so-and-so could hear that. I wish so-and-so could have heard what Avril just said, or I wish so-and-so could have heard what Sam just had. So what these Zooms are doing, and this, by the way, I think is the most valuable part of the Maven. I think the Thread's fine, and I think the Marco Polo is fine, but this is where the learning is going to happen. This is where we're all going to grow and get better. But I think y'all having access to each other, like, I think that is, I mean, I would hear so much brilliance from all of you throughout the day, and I'm like, oh gosh, if I could have just recorded that, or so-and-so really needs to hear that. This is like the brilliance of this. So thank you guys for getting on and sharing, because that is what the entire purpose of this Maven is. It's for us all to raise the bar and help each other get better. But like, Liz, you're the perfect example of someone who you just recently signed up. I mean, in the fall, you just sponsored for the first time, and you are taking off like gangbusters. Like that, if this program wasn't in place, you'd still probably be doing well, but like all of a sudden you have access to these people who built these gigantic businesses, and we have the benefit of your new energy and enthusiasm, and you learn by teaching. So every time you do something, get on here and share it, because the more you teach, the better you get at it. Because you can't say you're doing something and then not do it, because then you feel like a hypocrite. So you're like, okay.
Yeah, well, and I'm so thankful. I've learned so much, and I'm so thankful for this group. I don't think I'll ever be able to express my gratitude to the ladies who've reached out to me in so many ways to learn from this. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you. All right. Anything else you guys can think of before we pop off? All right. So I'll put together a quick little video that y'all can share with your new stylist at some point today. And then I do like the idea of doing a split screen on the Southern Charms page with all the little things new stylists might think of, like overcoming objections, or their checklist in the beginning, making sponsoring seem normal. So I'll find somebody that I can do a little bounce back with and forth with. And we'll kind of have some of those words to say in role playing that you were talking about, Avril.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if anybody wants to be a part of the 7-day sponsoring split screen, message me and let me know, and I'll pair everybody up.
Yeah. You know how you brought on like Victoria or Sam? Like for me, I could only speak for me, but I know if it works for me, it works for a lot of people. That's where I learned the most.
Okay.
When I could actually hear the tactical things that you're doing, So if a new stylist could hear in real time what it sounds like, I think that could make such a big difference. And in a way that we all now as leaders and leaders in training could like just send that video, because we know the other challenge is getting them to go onto the Facebook groups, right? Because people have lives and they have all the things. But if we could have that video now to just simply text our teammates and say, hey, this was so good, I really wanted to make sure you didn't miss it, that would be pretty awesome.
You know what? Just thinking about what Avril was saying, Kelly, maybe we should do our wine drinking on overcoming objections and have you guys like do it on the team page, give us your objections, words we can't say type thing.
That would be really fun.
Make it entertaining. Overcoming objections would be really fun with wine.
Yes, I totally agree.
Right? If you can't keep a straight face, you have to drink.
I love that. Okay, perfect. And then I do like the idea too of having little shareable videos, and they would need to be a minute or less to make them textable. But maybe each kind of guest speaker we have could do a quick 60-second recap of their top tips of whatever they're sharing, and then just post it in the thread, and then we can all share it out to our teams. Yeah. Can we share someone's personal videos like that?
Not from a closed page. They'd have to be in the group.
But what about from like a textable kind of thing? Would they have to upload it to YouTube?
Yeah, just because they get too
I think so.
1 minute might work, but it's iffy.
Oh, so YouTube, it doesn't matter if it's a minute or less. It could be longer.
Yeah, but the problem with YouTube is you have to pretty much make them public
to share.
So it's just a question if it's shareable. If you want everyone to see it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this would be helpful, but I think you can do a little bit more than a minute on a textable video. I actually did one yesterday for an online group that an online party that I'm having for a group, and I did I think it was like 3.5 minutes, and I was able to text a 3.5 minute video out.
But so, could I send your video to someone else, or is it protected so that you can send it?
No, I think if I make a video and text it to you, then you can like save it to your videos the way you would save a picture, and then you can attach that and send it out as a text.
Okay.
I would say just test out the YouTube option. I'm not as familiar with it as you guys, but I do remember last year I was testing something out where I was doing pre-taped videos for different things like reach outs, follow-ups for deliveries, that sort of thing. And I was able to share it to my clients, but it wasn't public. Like I don't have a public YouTube page or whatever, but I have them saved and I was able to share it. So you guys are a little bit more familiar. Just test it, like test on one of us and see.
Well, when I tested it last week, when I uploaded all these to YouTube before I could share the Zoom calls, and when I had it on private, no one could see it. No one could open it. I had to put it to public for people to be able to watch it.
Maybe they changed the settings since the last time I tried it, which is probably what happened.
No, it could be. Or I just might not know what I'm doing. Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm excited. Sam, let's message about our overcoming objections thing. And then if any of you guys are up for being one of the future couples on the next 7 days, Liz, yay, good.
I'll do something. That sounds like fun, and I'm always
Okay, perfect. I wish we could get Lori to do it with you, but Lori will never do it. Maybe we'll get you and Aaron.
Well,
I
I
got
actually
her on
messaged
video.
Liz Bean, and I said, let's do a double Liz interview or something.
Oh, so cute. That's a great idea. Okay, everyone, we'll reach out and find a partner then, whoever, because it's going to be the more chemistry you have with someone, the more fun it's going to be. So
Yeah.
reach out to whoever you want and be like, that'd be fun.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, guys.